extra, read all about it.
Welcome to another episode of The Devil's Mic. This is your host, Johnny Zex, and today we're with Call Me King, straight out of Austin, Texas. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. We crashed their practice, so sorry about that. They invited us, so go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you guys do in the band.
I'm Jeremy. I hit stuff.
I'm Jordan. I play guitar sometimes.
Joel. I do most of the vocals. I'm Nick. I play bass.
I'm Will. I play support, rhythm guitar, backing vocals.
All right, right on. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. How did everybody meet? I know it's probably been some lineup changes, but let's go ahead and talk about this most recent one. So how'd you get all the guys together, and we'll go from there.
Well, so at the time that we started kind of coming up with this lineup, he and I had already been working together for a minute. When he eventually joined, we had known him through general music in Austin for a few years, and then he finally joined up. He was on our last tour with us, and then since then we kind of expanded outward. So I think, I actually don't know how we found Jared. I'm not sure.
We found him through Ruben, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Ruben recommended him.
So a previous member recommended him, and that's how we found him.
And I was cruising on Craigslist.
Yeah, that was.
He's like, wait a minute, this isn't misconnections.
He just showed up. He just showed up one day. I still don't know why he's here.
I'll play guitar. You guys are all right.
Where am I?
That's not where did the name Call Me King come from?
So the name Call Me King is actually a line from a book. It's to make a very long story short, there's a character who was supposed to be a king who's thrown in prison. And as he gets thrown in, they ask him what his name is, and he starts laughing to himself and just says, "Call me King." Like, the whole point is, he has no station, he has no one like looking up to him or anything, and it's kind of ironic that this is going to be my name now. Just call me King, because like I'm in prison, I'm in the worst place I can possibly be, and that we ran with that as kind of the idea for our name.
Gotcha. Now, does that have any, I guess, correlation to, you know, y'all's name in general? Like, do y'all consider yourselves like that dude that just said Call Me King, or?
The reason we ended up choosing that name was mainly because it was a concept that, like, the idea of being a king, being in charge, isn't about anyone listening to you. It's about more who you are as a person. Where it's like, it didn't, in that character's case, it didn't matter whether anyone was beneath him, whether he had subordinates or not. From a thematic perspective, the reason that he chose that name is because that's what he was, regardless of if anyone else acknowledged him.
Exactly. So no matter, like, even though he was in jail, he was like,
yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Right on, right on. Let's go ahead and just hop into the discography of everything. We'll go ahead and take it way back to October 2016.
Yeah.
In the Snow Will Turn to Ash, which actually was produced by Craig Owens and Jordan DeSorbo.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the album, the story itself.
Okay, well, the album, we had been playing together for a while. We had played a couple shows, and Craig Owens posted on Facebook that he was looking for a band to fill a few weeks, or actually it was about 2 weeks. And we said, okay, we'll submit our stuff. There's no way he's going to answer. It's Craig Owens, whatever. And the next week we got a response from, we call him a myth. His name's Henry. No one's met him. I still don't know who Henry is. And he's like, hey, I need you to send me like half of what it's going to cost to record this album on PayPal. And we're like, well, we're about to lose some money. There's no way this is real, like whatever. So we paid him, and we were like, okay, we got 2 months to write an album now. Well, one of the months, one of our members was gone in Europe for an entire month. So we ended up spending about 1 month writing the entire album. And we recorded all of the songs in, I think it was 13 days. So it was very, very much a time crunch to get that done. It was a fun experience. We were all like, at the time we had 5 members, plus there was the engineer Jordan, his roommate, and then another person. All of us were living in the same house. So we're all sleeping on couches, and it was great getting to work with Craig every day, having him come in. Really surreal at first. Like I said, we did not expect any of this to actually happen, and then we ended up getting to record with somebody who, at least for me and Ruben, was a huge influence. But it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. We wish we had been able to spend a little bit more time on everything, but we're really happy with what came out of it.
Yeah, it really does sound good. I mean, it doesn't really sound rushed. It's all very well put together and flows really nice. Now, as far as the name is concerned, after you had mentioned, Call Me King from a book. Now, was this from a book as well? Because it sounds kind of poetic,
So no, not at all.
Okay.
We were throwing around a bunch of different name ideas while we were in the studio, kind of just decompressing from recording, because it's a relatively mentally taxing process. And so we were out on the porch in Toledo, Ohio, in the snow, and there was a character in our band named Brian Allen. He's a very interesting, very intelligent person, but he's also one of the weirdest people I've ever met. And so he's sitting there with a cigarette in one hand, just staring out, and it's snowing. Which, I mean, to be fair, he's from Texas, so I'll give him a little credit. It's a little out of the ordinary. And he just says, "And the snow will turn to ash." And we're like, what are you talking about? What are these words you're just spouting? And then he insisted from then on, he's like, "That has to be the album title." I came up with the album title, and we're like, dude, it means nothing. You were just looking at the snow. But he ended up convincing us. The thing that won us over was the fact that we made it into a sentence. So it's supposed to be the band name, and then you read the full title. "Call Me King and the Snow Will Turn to Ash" was the idea, but it came from nothing. It came from literally just Brian saying words.
Right. Just spewing out words.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you add, after Ash, the writer and the written, right?
Yeah.
It all flows together. So that was released back in August of last year.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk to us about that album.
That album was something we spent a lot more time on. So the first one, we came out of the studio with some definite things we wanted to improve upon, things that we thought we could do better. And so we spent a lot of time just focusing on from a writing perspective, where we wanted to go. Also during that time, we ended up losing two of the members that were on the first album, and we wrote the majority of this album was written by myself, a guy named Ruben, and a guy named Zach. And when we went into the studio, we had spent about 6 months where each of us was working full-time jobs, and then spending about 20 hours a week just working on writing for the last 6 months. So we went in with a lot more focus and a lot more of a goal. And I think we all thought we hit the benchmarks pretty well for what we were aiming for with this one. We wanted to be more dynamic, have both softer and heavier parts than the first album, because that was one of our complaints, was that the first album, if you listen through it beginning to end, it kind of feels like a lot of it sits between 4 and 8 on an intensity scale. It doesn't ever get really heavy, it doesn't ever get really soft, and we wanted to change that. I think we did some really good work. I think that it's a lot stronger than the first album for a lot of reasons, and we definitely, lyrically, most of the lyrics are written by myself. We played a lot harder into the fact that these are concept albums. There's a story that we're starting to tell, kind of, and we haven't talked about that a ton so far. It's something we more want to bring in slowly, but there are kind of a story to the songs, and the order of the songs is very specific, things like that.
Gotcha. Now, did you want to go in depth into that?
I mean, we plan to. When it comes to right now, I mean, it'd be difficult to talk about, especially given the fact that most of these guys know nothing about it, because this is a brand new lineup for the most part.
Yeah.
But that was something that we intended to do, and there are kind of some threads that call back to the first album for that reason.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Now, as far as recording goes, where'd y'all record this one?
So Jordan DeSorbo is the producer, head engineer at Glass Arrow Audio in Toledo. So he engineered our first album when we had Craig Owens producing. He also is the engineer and producer for the second album.
So you kind of made that connection. Is that a connection you're looking to keep going forward as far as any other albums go?
There are considerations with that, both with the new lineup. When we intend to record another album is something that we haven't exactly figured out. And also, during the process of like getting the edits of the album back and stuff like that, there were definitely a few kinks that we had to work out. So we might be looking to do something a little closer to home next time. Just because it did create some difficulty having our producer in Ohio while we're here. We ended up and I'm not saying this is Jordan's fault, but throughout everything, we did end up getting our recordings back later than we expected, and that caused a lot of strain on the actual release timeline and things like that.
Right, that's understandable. Like you said, there's nothing that he can really do about it. I mean, like you said, you're here in Ohio, so it's not really anybody's fault, but give a shout out to those guys. Next, what I want to touch on as far as music goes is the Bad Guy cover. Now, I'm not really, I don't know any Billie Eilish songs, but this guy apparently was all like, yeah, it's a Billie Eilish cover. I thought it was like a legit song. I was like, okay, you know. Talk to us about why that song and why that spoke to you guys.
Why not? I mean,
I just play guitar.
I think we kind of figured like, hey, we haven't done anything in a while. We got a new lineup. Let's like just have some fun with something. And that was a song that was like relatively popular. Also a song that we didn't feel like there was a particularly high bar for when it came to covering it.
Right.
So we felt pretty safe just being like, hey, let's throw something together. Let's see what we can do.
Right.
It was also a bit of a test run for our new like demoing recording process to a certain extent. This guy here is a producer. He produced the entire thing. We obviously did the video ourselves. That was all like webcams and phone video and stuff. And so we didn't take it super seriously, but it was kind of a dry run for like when we start working on future Call Me King material. We kind of have like a little bit of experience. We know how it's going to go, and we know where we need to maybe focus on improving, what things we need to do when we actually want to make our own product.
Exactly. And not only that, but it also gives y'all the chance, you know, like I said, with the new lineup to see how well everybody works together as far as figuring out this part, that part, you know what I'm saying? So, anything want to add on that?
I mean, I think for me, I think a lot of why we picked that and why we did it the way we did is, I think as from the public standpoint, I think people were taking us too seriously. So we kind of wanted to show them, you know, we can also have fun. We're just 5 dudes trying to have fun, play music.
Right.
Yeah, it was very low budget. I mean, like I said, Nick engineered all the entire thing.
Much lower budget than that.
I mean, the cost of recording and video was literally a meal at Whataburger. You know, like that was it. It was like $20 for everything.
Right. You can't beat that, right?
Got good food out of it.
No, we just got the container.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought we got we didn't pay anything in Panda.
yeah.
Get some box.
Shout out to Taco Bell for giving us a cup after hours.
Yeah, Taco Bell.
Taco
They
Bell.
always come through.
At Taco Bell.
Yeah, we had this whole
At Whataburger.
We had this whole bit about how we were going to use a water cup and put Sprite in it to be like, I'm a bad guy. And then we went to the one place that doesn't have water cups.
Whataburger doesn't have.
Yeah, they just didn't have them.
They're
So we
like,
had to
oh,
go
we
next
just give you a
door.
small cup. What the fuck you want?
And we're like, no, we need a water cup. So we had to go next door to Taco Bell.
No. If it's not a
was
water
closing.
cup, you're not doing it, bro.
That's a soda cup, right? Now, what I wanted to move on to as far as we talked about recording, music, things of that nature, was the, I guess, recent release of Wolves at the Door, the music video. Who shot that and what was it like working with it?
All right, so that is Brandon from Timekeeper Media. Yeah, and he does a lot of videos around here. We actually have been working with him for a few years. Any of our videos that aren't the Bad Guy cover are recorded by him. When we first started working with him, he was relatively, I'm not gonna say completely unknown, but he was relatively unknown. I think we were like the second or third full music video that he did, and we've been pretty active in the Austin area. So since then, a lot of people like the videos we've done. He's gotten a lot more business from it. We've kind of grown together. So we got a really good relationship with him in general. I think he does great work. And that's something that right now that we're talking about doing some more video stuff. We're considering whether we're going to work with him or do other things. But highest respect to that guy no matter what. Like I said, he's from Austin. I think he actually recently moved out of Austin, but somebody who grew up in the area. He knows everybody in the scene. He's a very genuine, very good guy.
Just a
Yeah, he did New 95. He's done
looked really good.
a couple of videos for Gold Steps. He's done two videos for Rain now.
I just remember seeing the teaser for the new 95 video. I was like, man, that looks really good.
Yeah, no, he did that. Rain, Gold Steps, Forever Starts Today. So many bands, you know.
Pretty much any band in the Austin area that's doing stuff.
I mean, to be fair, there weren't a lot of options at the time that we were looking, especially people who are going, I want you to send me money before I even talk to you about your idea. And it's like, if we can't do my idea, I'm not paying you. Like, that's the thing. It's like I had one guy tell me, and he's since kind of been run out of the scene for like some stuff that came out in his past. But I had one guy tell me that in order to give me a quote, he's like, you have to send me this much, and then we can talk. He's like, I won't talk to you about whether we can do your idea until you pay me. And I'm like, here's the thing, I want to do my idea. So if we can do it, I'll pay you.
Yeah.
But if we can't do it, I'm not just sending you money and expecting you to return it if we can't do my idea.
Exactly. I don't see how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who have more passion than business smarts in bands.
Yeah.
And so they tend to, there are a lot of people who try to prey on that, I think.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I was saying, I don't see how that works. Usually it's like, okay, this is what you're looking to do. All right, well, here's a deposit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that way we can get things started, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, he explained, he's like, I've had people steal my, come to me for a consultation, steal my ideas and make the video with somebody cheaper. And I'm like, well, but yeah, that's the difference. I'm telling you what I want. Like, this is me, I have the idea already. I'm not looking for you to help.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Need your equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need you, bro.
I'm paying you so I don't have to learn how to run your camera. It's like a few tours, done some local mini weekend stuff. But 3 main tours. We had the one with Emery. We had our album release for each album. Both of those we went up through the Midwest. The second one was a little longer, turned into a little bit of a hassle. We had a booking agent who told us he had booked a bunch of venues, and then 2 weeks before the tour started told us actually I didn't do anything. So we had to book a lot of those ourselves.
Was that was the Can We Borrow Your Cabs?
Yeah. That was definitely rough. But the tour actually turned out pretty well.
Yeah, came together really well.
Yeah, it was a really hectic time leading up to it, but we went on tour, didn't lose money at the very least, and had a pretty good time. This guy went to Starbucks literally every day.
Every day.
I needed the internet.
He needed the coffee.
I was about to say, the internet. Okay.
This is a
McDonald's,
white,
you can get $1 tea and use your internet.
this is a white girl.
Well, we never parked at a McDonald's.
Body.
We parked at McDonald's and used their Wi-Fi.
We did park at McDonald's in, what was it? Mississippi?
By that point, I didn't need Wi-Fi anymore. That was the end of the tour.
That's true.
He was done with Starbucks.
Yeah,
I'm tired of Starbucks.
he went to Starbucks that day anyway, and that's why it's funny, because he chose to walk from McDonald's to Starbucks.
He eats Starbucks. Why are you getting? He's getting closer to me. Like he went to Starbucks too much. I can't
Yeah,
stand it.
no, I gotta separate myself from the white girl energy.
The white girl. Now, as far as the Emery tour goes, what was it like? Going on a small run with Emery and
That was awesome. Okay, so Emery is one of my favorite bands ever. I've been one of my first concerts that I actually chose to attend. You know, you're a kid and your parents are like, "Oh, you're going to see this." Well, Emery was one of the first ones where it's like I sought out tickets. I chose to go on my own, and I've been following them literally forever. One of my favorite bands, foundational band for me. And so they announced this tour, and they're like, "We're gonna do 3 days in Texas and a few days outside of Texas." And the day they announced it, within an hour, so I'd gone to a lot of their shows, and I had Toby, the lead singer, or one of the lead singers, as a Facebook friend. So I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, I just saw your tour announcement. I want my band to play on this tour, or to at least open for you in Austin or San Antonio. What do I do here?" And he was like, "I'm not in charge of any of that. You got to talk to our band manager." So then I get the band manager's official contact. And I remember sending a message to the members, and I'm like, "Hey guys, something weird's going on. Probably nothing gonna happen, but I'm trying to get us on a tour with Emery." And they're like, "Oh, cool." And then I talked to the band manager, and she's like, "Okay, let me talk to everybody in the band. You already talked to Toby, but I'll talk to everybody else." and she sort of showed them our music, and she was like, yeah, they're all good with it. Now you got to talk to the tour manager. I'm like, all right. So at this point in time, I've made it through 2 layers, and I'm like, guys, no, seriously, like they just gave me the tour manager's info. I think this might be happening. So I talked to the tour manager from Afton Booking or whatever they're called, and he basically said these are the terms, like we actually started negotiating stuff. He's like, since you already have Riva and the band's approval, all I need from you is you to agree to these terms, basically. And so I got the official confirmation from him, and I just screenshotted it and sent it to my bandmates, and I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but within between them booking the tour and me going through Toby, Riva, their manager, and then I think his name was Chris at Afton, took about an hour and a half.
Whoa.
And by the time we got the confirmation, it was the next day. And I was like, it appeared in 24 hours. It went from Emery announced the tour to us being on the tour. And I was like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what's going on, but like we're on tour with Emery now. Yeah, I spent the first day of tour in San Antonio, like just shell-shocked, hiding behind our like stage scrims, like that's Emery. They're right there. They're sound checking right there. It was a great time too. We did really well on the tour. Everything went really well. A couple issues with our vehicle, but other than that, it was just a really fun time. They're amazing guys. I got to hang out on the tour bus with them, and they're really chill. It was fun pulling up to each venue and seeing Josh, their piano player, singer, background dancer, who you'd see him every time we pull up to a venue. He'd leave the bus, and he'd be gone for about 10 minutes, and then you'd see him coming back with like 48 beers, just like getting on, and he'd like just like glance around, like set him down. And he'd be like, okay, they're partying, they're having a good time.
Exactly. Ain't no wrong with that though.
And I remember you telling me about that.
But that only goes like to show, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, because that happened, being able to have a record produced by Craig, Chiodos, things like that.
Yeah.
It's, don't sell yourself short. If you know you got the product,
Yeah, I feel like there was like kind of a hesitation, because I said internally there was kind of this thought that like, oh, I don't want to bother this guy, I don't want to offend this guy who I like look up to. And then I sort of just thought about it for a second. I'm like, the worst that can happen is he says no, and then he's annoyed with me. At this point in time, he probably doesn't even remember. So it's like my options are to be not remembered at all, to get said no to, or maybe to get a yes.
Exactly.
What's the that's the worst that can happen? Yeah, like it's all about how much you care. And I'm like, I care more about this project working than I do if my favorite vocalist is a little annoyed with me. Like, I'm willing to take that risk.
Exactly. Those odds are good. In your favor.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, let's go ahead and hop into the future. We got a fresh new lineup. Release that Bad Guy cover. What's next for Call Me King? And what do y'all look to bring to the Austin scene?
I mean, yeah. Go ahead and you can talk about that.
Huge show. We'll be playing with Forever Starts Today. They're doing the week-long tour, coming back. They're ending it right at Dirty Dog. Labor Day Eve, so everybody's off Monday. So I don't care if it's Sunday night or all. Come or not, I don't care. But see you out there. Forever Starts Today. Call Me King. I know All Nighter just put the EP out. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Like, it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a really fun time. So then after that, that's work on it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, right now, so we're kind of in a bit of a transition period.
We actually have to talk about what's coming up with. I proposed before you showed up. I proposed a Skype call on September, not 2nd, but the week after, instead of the band practice. But yeah, we're thinking about hopefully a tour during South by Southwest, because anybody who's been in Austin for that knows that traffic is abysmal and it's crowded and it's terrible. Yeah. So if we can not be here during that, that'd be pretty great.
Right. Avoid all that.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, I don't think we have anything specific.
Yeah, there's nothing really set in stone right now. The last few months have been a project of just rebuilding. Yeah. And then we've done a few shows that we kind of viewed as like almost test runs, like just getting back up to speed with a new group.
Right.
I think that at this point we're starting to get comfortable. After the next show, we'll start looking forward a little more. Whether that's going to be a lot of touring, more like trying to work on more music, releases, working on like our social media is going to be a huge thing. Because right now, to be honest, up until Jeremy joined this band, it's been pretty bad, and it could still be better. But it's been pretty rough, and that's something that in today's day and age you can't really afford to overlook.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out kind of our new direction with this group, where everyone's trying to go, how serious we want to be in like financial investment, things like that, and that those answers kind of decide what your best plan is, and we haven't had that talk enough at this point.
Gotcha. That's understandable. Like you said, it's a fresh lineup.
I mean, this is the second practice he's come to.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
Yeah, because I was gonna say I didn't see him at the what was it, the Growing Pains and Common show.
yeah, no, that was just the four of us, and
Right.
that's something like I said, even now we're
It
still
was like our first show.
That was my first show.
Oh, it was. Yeah,
That was the first show with the four of us.
Is that
Right.
doing monitors for that show?
No, I think you were in attendance for that one.
Also, shout out to Commons. Those guys are great.
Dude, Commons,
Yeah.
Growing Pains. Any other shout outs you want to give? Fucking Craig.
Kill Switch Engage.
Games.
I was gonna say it.
If they're watching this, call us.
For real.
Yeah,
Love
right.
to tour with you guys.
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Like the place or
Yeah,
the
it's the
country?
place.
Okay.
The separate country.
Right.
Shout out to all the sweatshops.
Yeah, no, that's the point. Shout out to Taiwan specifically.
And we have been banned from touring in China.
Is that really a problem? Was that on our
Oh
horizon?
yeah, no, they're hugely upset. Like they take it real personal.
No, I mean, was it a problem that we got banned just now?
Oh,
No, I don't think we were planning on going there anytime
hey, Silent
soon.
Planet's played there. They bring in Western
Shout out to
bands.
Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan. Taiwan.
Sovereign nation.
Book these
While
guys
we're
in
heading
Taiwan.
Tibet.
Yeah, there you go.
Might as well, right?
Man, what's happening? Normally I'm political.
Boxers.
Why are you being political today?
So catch these guys on social media. Where can they find you guys at?
Everything. Like literally, if there's a band,
Wherever
band
words are typed.
space that isn't Snapchat, we're there, and it's all very easy to find. Website name /WeAreCMK. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Obviously, we're on Spotify, Instagram.
Oh,
Yes,
Instagram.
Instagram. Personally, my favorite social media platform.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't like
Are we on
social media
TikTok?
that much. No.
Are we on Vine?
We will never be on TikTok.
Xanga.
What about MySpace? Y'all gonna bring it back?
MySpace, yeah.
Hey, we're on
us,
Mastodon.
us and Justin Timberlake are really working on that. We've had a few phone calls with him this week.
Right.
But
Please come back. We need your help, guys. But yeah, so catch them on Instagram, straight flexing. We are CMK.
yes,
So
very easy to find.
give them a like, follow, subscribe to their YouTube channel, go check out their website. It's pretty badass, by the way.
Yeah.
Seeing that background, I was like, oh fuck! Like I just wanted to sit there and watch it the whole time.
You're welcome.
I did that. What are you talking
You
about?
did that, but I'm the one who said we needed to update it.
You did say we needed to update it, and then you ruined it.
I lit the fire under.
You had like
Yeah.
dark gray text on a black background.
I just picked
Terrible.
a template.
Hey, we all
Well,
started
it looks good now. Yeah,
There's
it
a
looks
reason I
good
never
now.
went.
But yeah, so that's all we got for today's episode. Again, this your host Johnny Zex, and we out, bro.